never coming back here again.
These customers are so like, you feel what I'm talking about?
Wait, the plane is open. You just giving our seats out.
Right, you as an executive platinum know the rules.
Today we're going to be talking about entitled awful customers. Now, typically on this channel, we love to talk about, entitled business owners, entitled entrepreneurs, entitled Airbnb hosts who think you need to wipe down, clean, vacuum, do everything to make their responsibility ready for their next guest. Well, today we're going to be talking about some entitled customers who are absolutely delusional on how they should be treated. Now, I know all of us are customers, all of us have been customers at some point, and sometimes we do get a little entitled. I know I have, but this is a whole other league. If you're ready to get into the absolute madness that is entitlement, stay tuned for this next video.
Another owner here that speaks better English?
I'm the owner. Why are you screaming?
Well, I'm not screaming at you.
Screaming now.
Is it bull or is it both?
She handled this situation with extraordinary patience and professionalism.
I'm from Georgia. Maybe my English is not really good.
That's not an excuse. You're working in America, so you should speak good English.
Okay.
Is there another?
That's awful. Like, she's clearly able to understand you and reply back. She just has an accent. She speaks English well. I don't really see what the problem is. Maybe you need your ears checked.
And you're gonna leave me no choice but to call my husband.
Okay, what's that gonna do?
Gonna offer me like $280 or like $250, something like that. That's not what I want. Yeah, no, I'm tired of being in here anyways. I'm never coming back here again.
Like, you calling him doesn't make a difference.
No, like, you don't understand. He's gonna come up here and he's just gonna make sure that I get what I want.
You get, like I said, whoever you bring, it's not gonna change the price. Your husband coming does not change the price. I'm not magically just gonna give you $400.
We'll see about that. Pack it up. My husband will come back and he'll deal with this.
Okay, so the context of this video is this guy or this account is a pawn shop, and apparently this lady is gonna call her mans and get this pawn shop owner or this clerk, whatever, to get her a higher price on whatever she's pawning off. Girl, like, get it together. Does shit like this really work for people? I'm serious. Like, oh, I'm gonna call my man. I understand like the whole being a female tax, like a woman tax, where it's if you go to buy a car, they're not gonna take you seriously, or women are now starting to bring their husbands into the hospital to their doctor's appointments with them to make sure that they're taken seriously. But I think maybe that could be where she's going. But this is a little bit of, princess treatment. It's a little delusional princess treatment here.
I can't just call the owner and ask him for a discount.
No, but can you tell me it's a kid that just got out of the hospital that saw that in the hospital was about to go back to the hospital and he saw it, and that one of the only things he wanted to do is to come here and get those shoes. Can you tell him that, please?
No, I appreciate that, but it's also not a thing where I can just give them very big discount. I can't just call his phone about stuff like that. No. Listen, what I'm gonna say is like
post it on wherever. I don't know.
No. I understand what you're saying. What I'm saying is I hate to put you in this position right now, but what I'm gonna tell you is this: I'm the closest thing to it, and I don't bother him for things like that because he has a lot of stuff going on. Not to say that that's not important to him, but what I'm gonna say to you is that I can't just. If I could just give everyone in the world.
The guy in the other store wanted to give us a big discount.
Then I think that would be good.
The owner is here.
Well, the owner's not here. I think if they're going to give you a big discount over there, I would just go to them at 3rd Street Promenade. It's 5 minutes away. If they want to give you a big discount, beautiful. I love that.
You're not even thinking like, hey, what shoes you want? You just don't want to.
I just can't I can't on demand just give somebody a big discount. I mean, that's for sure. You're kind of demanding me to call the owner to give him a big discount because you can't.
Requesting under the circumstances. Yes, have a heart.
Okay, girl, no, you're not requesting. You are clearly demanding. There's a whole difference between requesting someone and demanding. With the request, it's like, hey, could you please fill up my water canister? Someone says no, whether it's no or yes, you will be like, it was a question, right? It was a prerogative question. A demand is not a prerogative question. It's not a question at all. A demand is fill up my water. They're like, did she ask the hospital for a discount on the bill? And you know what? We should be asking for discounts on our hospital bills. It sounds like an American accent to me. It could be Canadian, but I didn't hear like the about, sorry sort of accent. I can't do a Canadian accent because I'm not a Canadian. North American, but not a Canadian. We should be, especially as US residents, we should all be asking for discounts at the hospital. They get paid so much. Our insurance companies, they don't help us out at all, okay? She should be getting discounts for treatment. I don't care who you are. I don't care how much money you have. We should not have to struggle with our medical bills.
Hey guys, we open at 4. We open at 4.
I've accidentally walked into places that were closed, but the door was open. I just apologized and left. That's simple. Exactly, right? If they're closed, oh, my bad. Maybe you should close your door so that I don't feel stupid and foolish, right? Because it's that sort of like, you get defensive when you do something on accident and someone's like, you're not supposed to be here. And so you take it personally. I know I've had that. If I'm like having a bad day, I'm like, damn, well, don't leave your door open then.
To work in a bar that was in a very old building and the AC never worked. So in the summer, we would prop open the front and the back doors to try to get a good cross breathe going. The bar opened at 11. Openers would get there at 9:30. One morning I was there opening alone. I had placed 2 tall stacks of chairs in front of the open front door. And on the backs of those chairs, I had put a handwritten sign that said, "We are closed."
Okay, so that is completely different from what I'm thinking, where there is like, it's just a door and then they can open the door and it was supposed to be shut. Now, when it's actually, there's a reason and you have a sign, you have 2 chairs blocking the entrance and it says closed, you are completely in the wrong here. I can't do any sort of devil's advocate. Maybe you're blind, maybe you are illiterate, but then I don't know what's going on over there, okay? But once you hear someone says, hey, we're closed, you need to leave, okay? That's just kind of how it is. And then you don't have to go back to that establishment if you don't like how they treated you, saying, we open at 4, right? Like, you could have said it a little bit nicer, I'm never going back. Then don't go back, it's a bar.
When you walk into a store or a restaurant, do you expect them to kiss you on the fucking feet? When you even go to the drive-thru, do you pay the other person like this? Like between your fucking fingers like this? Who the fuck raised you? I used to work in banking, right? Some people will even throw you money like that, your card like that. At first I was like, oh shit, maybe they're having a bad fucking day. After 2 years, bitch, I'm gonna serve you the same way you served me.
I also believe, like, when people do it like this, and in the comments people are like, oh, it's always older people who are doing that. I think it's because it used to be like a cool way to give someone your credit card, right? Is to do it in between the 2 fingers. I'm sorry, British people, I'm like swearing at you, aren't I? In between the 2 fingers and then handing it to you like that. I think it might also just be like a generational difference because it seems cooler. Now, if somebody's just like tossing their card at you, that is rude.
Whether in middle school or high school, everybody should take a mandatory customer service internship. Without having dealt with other customers, I don't think anybody would treat people like that.
That's an excellent point. I always said that, and I worked in food service, I always said people should either work in retail or food service, either as, a teenager or as a young adult, so that you understand how to not treat people. Again, there are some people who have gone through, being a server and then they get richer and then don't care and become a rude person. That's just how they are, just an awful person in general. Or they're like, oh, well, I was treated poorly when I was a server. So you want to treat people poorly back? Someone who wasn't even the original person who treated you poorly? No.
Today I'm firing a client that I've had for over a year. She has been chronically late. She has texted me the day before wanting an appointment, hoping for me to squeeze her in. She has...
to be fair, like texting, hey, if you have an available appointment for tomorrow, that shouldn't be too bad.
No showed, canceled, last minute rescheduled.
Okay, so it sounds like she doesn't actually respect appointment times. That would piss me off as well.
All the things you can think of as a client, she has done. Last week she texted me wanting an appointment for the next day because somebody had died and she was leaving out of town. I understand. But you texted me the day before wanting an appointment as early as you can. I got here at 7:50 for her 8 o'clock appointment, and she didn't show up.
If your client is going to disrespect you like this, you definitely need to fire them. That is diabolical. I don't care how long you've had them as a client. It just means, no offense, that what they're seeing is that you like to be rolled over, steamrolled. They don't respect you, your boundaries, what boundaries. There is no offense that you've put up with them. Yeah, she needs to be fired. I agree with her here.
And that was my last straw. I can't keep trying to be there for her and getting her in if she's gonna just not show up. So today she texted me wanting an appointment for today because it was her sister's birthday and she needed her roots done. I texted her and let her know that I do not have an appointment today, but I do for 8:30 on Thursday, which that again is me squeezing her in because I have no other availability and I don't even like to start work until 9. So I said, also, since you have missed and been late to so many appointments, I'm going to have to ask you to pay a non-refundable booking fee. That booking fee will be taken off of your service for the date you have scheduled, but it will not roll over or be refunded if missed or canceled said appointment.
That is more than reasonable. I can't even understand how you would, and I'm sure the client's like getting all pissy about this. I have not watched this clip. If you get pissy after you have missed 1, 2, God forbid, more than 3 appointments, and they're like, hey, could you just pay this $50 deposit? It will go towards your actual hair appointment, right? Like it's not an additional charge. It's like a deposit that is included in your hair treatment because you don't actually show up to your appointment. So if you pay me that $50, it will incentivize you to actually show up to the appointment you wanted. That would blow my freaking mind. Oh my God. I'm getting a little heated.
I texted that at 2:30 because I was driving when she texted me that morning. She proceeds to text me and tell me that at 7:45, after I'm not even at work anymore, I'm at home trying to get my daughter to bed, she's going to text me and say that I'm being unprofessional and that she's been a great client to me and she has always tipped well and and I know her circumstances around her surgeries and her injuries, and that she still wants her appointment for Thursday at 8:30, but she will not be paying a booking fee.
At this point, bye Felicia, as they used to say. What are you doing? This is, if you show up, it's a part, like just show up, just do girl math it, be like, oh, I'm paying this $50 now, but you know, when I get there and I actually have to pay, it's technically $50 less because I paid, you know, beforehand. Because my trust with my hairdresser has been broken, okay? It's been severed because I am not being accountable for the appointments that I make with people.
I was not unprofessional. I even called my boss to make sure what I was sending before I sent was okay to send. I have a policy hanging up beside my station. She has probably read it multiple times. I have still always tried to squeeze her in, even when she texts me the day before, because I just like to please my clients. And I've just had enough. And especially you're going to tell me that you're not going to pay a booking fee when I just asked you. And it wasn't even like I didn't even tell her a price. Like I probably was going to charge her $25 just to book her appointment, because if she didn't show up, at least I would have something.
And the thing is, there's also a difference between something that you know rolls around every year, such as your freaking sister's birthday. Why are you not planning in advance for your oh, it's my sister's birthday. It comes every year. Is it on a leap year? Even then, like celebrate on the on March 1st. I don't give a I really wish this lady the best, because how dismissive is this client to her?
We cannot take your personal cup, wash it, and then put a fresh drink in there. That's a health code violation. Oh, these customers are so like... You feel what I'm talking about? Dude comes into the spot, bro. I work at Starbucks for y'all who don't know. Come into the spot, order his drink or whatever. I'm like, cool, yeah, I will get it out to you. But he has a personal cup. If you work at Starbucks, you know what that means. Is he gonna hand me the cup and be like, hey, can you rinse this with some hot water for me and then put it in there? What? Think critically here. You gonna walk into an establishment and basically ask us to wash your personal dish? I say, I can't take the cup, sir, but we could put it in a to-go cup for you, and then we can give it to you that way. I said, that's ridiculous. I'm a regular customer. I don't give a fuck. I cannot take your cup. He proceeds to get an attitude, and then he's like, nah, let me talk to your manager. Manager comes up and tells you the exact same thing I just told you.
Because some people are just entitled. That's literally it. Now, if the cup isn't clean, I never understood this thing with Starbucks. It always seemed like it would be a health code violation anyway, because you're bringing someone's cup into the back with you and then filling it. And I'm going to play devil's advocate here, right? The customer is pretty entitled, right, with the policy. And I'm sure, I think he said that, you know, a different Starbucks did it for me, whatever. You still need to adhere to your policies, right? And then customers, you have to respect that. To just rinse it with hot water before, what harm is that? Is it like, because for me, I would think it's not necessarily the health code violation, because you're still taking someone's cup into the back. It's just like a slippery slope thing, right? First, you're going to ask me to just rinse it with hot water, and then next time you're going to ask me to wash it with like soap and water and get a sponge and do all that rigmarole stuff. I don't know. I just always thought the cup policy was a little bit weird anyway for health, but if someone could explain that in the comments, I would really appreciate it. That would be helpful.
Right. So you're trying to steal money from me. If you order fries, you get it on a meal.
He's not leaving without his $1 refund.
I'm showing you this is what it has.
You see, so it shows $149
right. That's because I gave you the refund for that. I'm sorry about that, sir.
I get, sir, that you need your dollar back, right? But there's something in the system that's making it difficult. Maybe she needs to go get a manager to get that situation fixed. I've had situations like that when I was a teenager, and it's always men. No offense, men, not all men, but typically a man will be mean to you. Like these older men just see you as like some little girl that can be chastised and easy to roll over. Like, sorry, sir, I'm having a tough time here. Like, you being an a-hole to me is not going to make this process go any faster, and it's honestly going to make me have emotions and just not want to even be in the same vicinity as you.
This is what happens when you cannot pay. We take it away. Couldn't afford to pay his bill. He's trying to pin something else on us. We put a lot of work, money, and time into this.
No cash, no keeps. It's as simple as that. No exceptions.
It took us 2 days to do this and 12 minutes to pull it out. So this is what happened.
Why is this guy filming? Obviously to build his own little case, like, oh look, my landscapers, who, mind you, as someone who is not a homeowner but has listened to homeowners kind of complain a lot about finding good quality work for, you know, a reasonable price, right, for their home landscape, just anybody that's able to work on a house, whether it's inside or out. And it looks like they did their job properly, and you're not going to pay them, and you're instead going to resort to your little phone filming them so that you can, you know, build a case like, oh, they finished the job and then they took it away from me. If you don't pay for stuff, guess what? You don't get it. You thought because it's on your lawn and that's like a more permanent setting that they were going to keep it there. Guess what, bud? It's not going to stay there. Okay. And the funny thing is he's recording himself not paying for stuff, not paying for services that were rendered. Okay. So stupid. I love that contractors are writing into contracts that work remains theirs until full payment is made. Name and shame the non-payers. Naming and shaming, I don't think you need to name and shame them, but if you're like in some sort of network, or you know how different business owners, they are in groups, like if you're in architect, you're probably a part of like an architectural group, interior designers, you know, just be like, hey, I think this is kind of how blacklisting works, right? Is when a client doesn't pay you, who's going to want to work with you if word gets out that you are not a good customer? Like you aren't even a customer if you don't pay. Right? If you're enjoying this video so far, think about subscribing. I make videos every week, sometimes twice a week. So if you like what you're seeing so far, hit that subscribe button. Now let's get back into the video.
I'm a hostess at a restaurant, so let me tell you the top 3 things that I absolutely hate when people do at a restaurant. Okay. Number 1 is when grown adults walk into the restaurant and cannot use their words. And instead of telling you how many people are for a table, they just go, oh.
I think I've done this before, but I think I've done it in Europe where I'm like, it's just me. At least I guess I say like me, or I say it's just me when I feel like the restaurant doesn't speak English well. Really, should I be learning how to say like just myself when I go to a restaurant in a different country that I'm going to be in for weeks at a time? Yeah. Do I do that? No. So I'm this awful customer, mind you.
Okay, I will always act stupid and pretend I don't know what you're saying. I go, oh, like a table for how many? Oh, like table. I will make you speak because you are a grown adult. You can speak. You can speak. Okay. My second one is when people go, I don't want to seat by people. Seat me away from people. You came to a public restaurant and you don't want to be by the public. I want to sit in the corner. Oh, you mean the corner where no server is assigned to that section? You're not sitting there.
I've never asked to be seated like, oh, can you sit me somewhere that's more quiet? I can't understand maybe if you get triggered a lot, but then if you're triggered by loud noises, you shouldn't be going to a busy place because I do sometimes get triggered by loud noises and when there's a lot of people nearby. So I will actively avoid a restaurant, even if it's supposed to be like a 10 out of 10, absolutely perfect. If it's in the correct budget range, I'm not going to that restaurant because I will be kind of a Krabby Patty if there's a lot of noise around me.
And my third one is when people get really mad over booths. Okay, the booth. God forbid I don't give you a booth. Okay, you act like I just committed like a hate crime against you because I don't give you a booth.
Anyone else here prefer booths? I love a good booth. And it's because they always sit you on these chairs that don't even have a padded cushion or something. So, and I have a big badonkadonk. And it's still, for prolonged periods of time, if I'm going to be there for an hour, 2 hours, it kind of hurts at some point. So if you're a little bit on the skinnier end and your bone is touching that chair for more than 30 minutes, I'm sure even more than 15 minutes for some of you, no booty having people, okay? It can be a pain.
If I'm not giving you a booth, it's for a reason. I will never say no to giving you a booth for no reason. Okay, it's for like a valid reason. You've obviously never worked in a restaurant before. Okay, so you're like demanding this booth. I also hate when they try to give you sob stories. I don't care about your sob story. The second you asked for a booth, my mind was made up.
I want to know what these sob stories are. Like, is it, oh my God, I have no ass. Can you please sit me in a booth? Or it's trauma for me to be in a chair? I don't know.
I don't care that your back hurts. I don't care that you just had a long flight in an uncomfortable chair. I don't care. I don't care. If you can't have a booth, it's for a reason.
Can you sit me somewhere quiet? Babe, you're at a busy restaurant on a Saturday night. We don't have a quiet section. I mean, truly, if you want to sit somewhere quiet and you're going out on a weekend, tough shit. Customer is always wrong. That is for sure. I do think, well, okay, the customer's not always wrong, but a good majority of the time, the customer is typically wrong, right? And the saying wasn't even like the customer's always right? Like they cut what the actual meaning of the phrase originally was. It's like the customer is always right in the matter of taste, AKA meaning, and this is how I interpreted it, is AKA whatever they want. Like if they want to, you might think that this is a really ugly jacket. I think it's super cute. But if you're selling it to me, you know what? Great. You're always right in the matter of taste, whatever you want to wear.
Excuse me, is your patio open? There's 19 of us and we don't have a reservation. And we all want separate bills. Do you have any shade? Can we move this umbrella? Your umbrella's broken. Can you make the sun go away? There's too many bugs outside. There's too many bees around our table. Can I get a cocktail with as much sugar in it as possible? Do you have any heat lamps? Do you have any air conditioning? Can you turn down the sun? Can you block the wind? Oh, our table's covered in pollen. I'm allergic to our table. Our table's too wet. Our table's too dry. Can we get a table inside? It's too dark in here.
To be fair, if the table is too wet, somebody should be wiping down the table unless it's clearly raining outside. If the umbrella is broken, you should probably fix the umbrella. Some of these requests, I'm like, is it entitlement or is it just something that you should naturally fix? Now, I am sure there are some customers out there who are like, oh my God, it's too hot out. Girl, you chose the patio and you're under the umbrella. It's not going to get much cooler than this. There is no AC that we would do outside because that is, for one, just a stupid idea unless you get energy for free, which I don't know about you, but energy prices have been going up, and up, okay? They have not lowered in like the past decade, if not longer. Absolutely disturbing. As a current server, this is accurate as fuck and was basically how my day went. I'm twitching. LOL. You survived. Yeah, I can't even imagine. It would probably be super annoying. He's like, if you think this is an exaggeration, you'd be wrong. I don't think it's an exaggeration at all. I'm sure that would be just what one customer would say, to be honest, because they're just they switch up on you, okay? Some people are just entitled, have no sense of self-awareness, right? They don't understand that they are being ridiculous. Some people just truly have zero sense of self-awareness, which is kind of disturbing if you think about it, because then no one checked them in life. No one really held them accountable. No one showed them consequences to their actions. And so they just go through life being kind of an a-hole, which is not right. At some point, people really should be checking people on how rude they can be. There's no reason to be rude to servers.
So I was able to reject service to these two young girls because they were so entitled that I felt so good about saying no. I am never in a position also to be able to say no because I work in customer service. I work in retail. You have to check somebody out if they come up, but it was a perfect set of circumstances, okay? So I was working with one of my coworkers. It was just us two, and we were closing the store. We closed at 8 o'clock. These girls come in at 7:57, okay? People pass through. We work at a mall, so like people can pass through the store, I didn't think too much of it. I'm standing there, and I'm seeing these girls start to look through clothes and shop around, like we don't close in 3 minutes. And I'm like, surely they don't think that they're gonna get stuff. They go over and they grab my coworker and start asking her about these pants, start asking her about these jeans, and she's looking at me like, what the fuck? And I'm like, I don't fucking know. And so she finishes like talking to them, and then we go over and start closing registers because it's 8 o'clock now, okay? We're standing over there and we waited. We fucking waited because my coworker, she's a little bit nicer than me. We had 2 registers open. I closed one. We were about to close the other, and she looked around. She waited for a good little bit. She's like, I don't see anybody. There's nobody in here. We have to close it. And so we start closing it. I have the drawer open. I'm counting money. And sure as shit enough, these 2 little bitches start walking down the fucking aisle. And I'm watching them. And I had told my coworker earlier, I said, if those girls try to come up here and check out, I'm telling them no. I didn't think it was actually going to happen, though. So these girls come up, and they're like, I tell them before they even get to the, hi, sorry, we're closed. I can't check you out. I'm like, are you serious? Like, it's just one item. Like, it's a really big emergency. She needs this for tomorrow. Like, it's a really big emergency. And I'm like, yeah, I'm sorry. Our system's closed at 8. Unfortunately, you got here less than 5 minutes before close. I can't check you out. There's nothing I can do. Are you sure? Like, can you really not? Like, it's just one thing. Unfortunately, no, I cannot. They were on the phone with somebody and they were like, and the person was like, ask them if they can hold it. And I was like, I can hold it for you guys. And so I put it in the back. They were so fucking mad when they left. Unfortunately, also, they took time to go try it on. The idea to go into a store 3 minutes before close, ask an associate for help and go do something, and then try on clothes after closing, after the store lights are off, and still expect to be checked out is ridiculous. And
I'm a little speechless, right, from this story. So who is going into stores like 15 minutes before they close? Like, I never do that. Even if I'm on, like, I've done that before, but accidentally, because I'm like strolling down the promenade or, the shopping promenade and just going into different stores. For example, most of the stores in the building close at 9 versus one will be closing at 8. And I think I have like an hour and 15 minutes left, or an hour and like 5 minutes left. It doesn't matter. Like, an hour is plenty of time to do some shopping in a small store. And then people are like, oh, we're closing soon. And I'm like, oh shit, sorry. The joy I feel telling a customer, sorry, the system automatically locks at closing time, can never be beat. I understand that. It's kind of like a little vindication. But again, I didn't even know that, to be honest, because at the food place I worked at, the systems didn't close until you like physically closed them, turned them over. So that's interesting to know. Did you guys know that? That systems automatically turn off? Anyway, I'm on their side at this point though, because again, you should have self-awareness. As we've been seeing throughout this video, people do not have self-awareness.
I'm sorry, what? No, ma'am, I'm not going to.
So you're gonna give her receipts out for them?
Right here. I am right here, ma'am.
Okay, I'm recording. Lower your tone. You're giving our receipts to them?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
It is 12 minutes and 27
What
seconds.
12 minutes?
It's still open. It's still open.
It's still open. We're here.
I'm executive platinum. You know that, right?
Okay.
I'm executive platinum here.
I understand that.
Yeah, and you're giving
And yet you're giving my
hold on,
ticket to
hold on.
somebody else?
So wait. The plane is open. You're just giving our seats out.
Right.
And
You're
you
just
as an
giving.
executive platinum know the rules.
No,
Right.
you're giving our seats out.
Yes, we are.
It's still open. You can let us in.
If it was closed, you wouldn't be giving it to
Right?
anybody else.
I am so confused here. Okay, so it looks like, what are they saying? So people in the comments, they're like, if they're at the gate and the gate isn't closed, they shouldn't give tickets away. The gate is open for standbys, not for the people who were supposed to be there 12 minutes and 20 seconds earlier. Interesting. I didn't realize standbys. So this, I mean, obviously there should be some sort of understanding that you need to get to the airport in time. So, okay, I love playing devil's advocate. So I'm going to play devil's advocate with the entitled customer, because you really should be. I always get to the airport an hour. Like, I make sure that I get through the gates an hour before my flight is supposed to take off, because I do not F around when I buy plane tickets, because I never buy like the little insurance or anything like that. When you're 12 minutes late, for me, like, and then the gates are still open, I can understand why they would be really mad. I wouldn't be like really mad. I would just be really mad at the situation myself, and I would probably start crying if I'm honest. For me to be late, and I'm thinking from like my own perspective, is for me to be late, a lot of things would have to go wrong before, like, for example, like my Uber broke down and I wasn't able to get another Uber, so it's now apparently my fault that I didn't make it, and now I have to miss my flight. Like, that would really upset me because a bunch of circumstances. We don't know what their circumstances are. I'm going to assume, for the devil's advocate portion, that there's a set of circumstances that they could not help. And so when you see that the gates are still open and they're giving your tickets away to people in standby, and you have put a bunch of points forward, bought a bunch of tickets to where you're at an elite level in their membership, in the flight airline membership, that I can understand their frustration. Should they be yelling at her like this? Probably not. You get more flies with honey. It is what it is. What I'm going to assume probably happened with this entitled customer, for them to, they just did not care and assumed that their status would let them be late to a flight, which I never understood, because I always assumed like you could never go in to the plane where boarding has ended. I get their frustration, but also do better, because you have clearly been flying so much so that you have built an elite membership level with this airline. What can you do? It's an expensive lesson to learn.
Can we talk about how entitled customers get when they realize that they're part of like your ethnic community? On many occasions, I have had a Dominican customer who, upon sensing in their brain that I'm also Dominican, got very comfortable asking me if they can have an employee discount. The other day, I was ringing up a customer, and then she was speaking Spanish, and she was like, ¿Y cómo tú te llamas? And I was like, me llamo Charina. And then she was like, Charina, dame un descuento. Y después ya le pregunté a ella, like, did they send you a coupon in the mail? Did they? She was like, no, pero yo quiero un descuento hoy. ¿Qué descuento? ¿Qué descuento? ¿Qué descuento? Le pregunté a ella. Y ella me dijo como, ay, yo quiero que tú me des descuento. What discount? I look her in the eyes and I'm like, you want me to get fired?
One of my friends got told by a customer that it's a family discount. Lady, we don't know you. That's insane. No. If you, right, Skinfolk ain't kinfolk, but people, it doesn't matter if you're the same race or not. People will always try to find rapport with someone and then try to abuse that rapport. Even family members will try to abuse what you can give them. So yeah, don't give these people discounts. Like, that is so entitled. LMAO, this is real. When I used to work at Ulta, the one day I had a pin on and this lady was demanding my employee discount because we might be related. Might be. People are absolutely ridiculous and have this audacity to them where they don't care. I have never had this audacity where I'm going to ask for not even like ask for one, demand a discount from you.
My total was $5.02, but I only had $5 on me, so I asked the cashier at Kroger if she could take 2 cents off of my bananas, and she told me no, and said that she would get fired if she did that. And I know that's not.
Yeah, so Kroger is actually not a flea market. As you heard, she was ringing in her groceries. She didn't have an added 2 cents, so she asked the cashier to just take it off. And listen, I know 2 cents sounds like 2 cents, it's not a big deal. And then when the cashier was like, I'm so sorry, I can't do that, like I could get fired, she's like, well, that's a lie. First off, weird reaction. Because she's worked in retail, and when people were short before, she would just take off money or give them a coupon or just look the other way. So now she expects cashiers to do that for her. Expecting probably minimum wage workers who fall on a sword and potentially lose their job over 2 cents for you is wild. And she goes on to say, the company will be fine, like why does it matter? It's not about the company, because when that cashier's drawer is short, it's not the company that gets screwed over. It's the minimum wage worker who loses their job because you didn't have 2 cents. Now
The delusion. Also, what were you doing just giving out discounts to people? Very strange. Now, maybe what you could do for discount wise, you know how some places, and I'm not saying you do this, but you know how like some places charge for grocery bags, like an additional 5 or 10 cents for grocery bags. Maybe you just take off, if she didn't bring her own bag, just take off the grocery bags. Like, okay, maybe that's still not good to do. Don't do that, right? Protect your job, protect yourself first. I don't know. You can't expect people who are making minimum wage or just slightly above minimum wage to adhere to you. You know what you probably could have done? Instead of ask for 2 cents off of your banana, just take 1 banana back. That's probably what you could have done. But anyway, what do you think? Do you think that these customers were entitled? I know I like to play devil's advocate a little bit to see maybe there's different sides to different stories, but at the end of the day, the customer is not always right. In fact, most of the time they seem to be completely wrong, and that can include us as well. Please be sure to check your behavior. I'm not saying that you do this necessarily, but I have definitely been guilty of some of these actions, and I try not to replicate them moving forward. But let me know what you think. Subscribe if you enjoyed the channel, if you enjoy looking at topics like this, and I will see you in the next one. But I think you'll like this video next.